Okay, folks, are you ready? Repeat after me. DOGE has been a complete failure. When they started it with all the big fanfare, it was supposed to save $2 trillion. They were going to find $2 trillion to cut. By January, they were going to cut $1 trillion. And you know what? They are now claiming, well, they've been able to cut $150 billion. But New York Times checked it out and found out they were simply lying. They cannot find any of these cuts. So in effect, what they've done, disrupted government. And guess what? Well, I'll tell you the guess what at the end. Check this out from Steve Ratner, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Let's just talk about Musk overall and DOGE. I mean, the promises were, target cutting 150 billion, 2 trillion annually from the budget. I mean, they went in there, a bunch of people with, I believe, no clearance. No cabinet position. So there's those issues and those questions that have a lot of us wondering. But okay, so what's been the outcome of these grand projections?
So, yeah, as you said, there's been an enormous amount of commotion. You've had a bunch of people lose their jobs. You've had confusion all over the place. What do we have to show for it? Well, back during the campaign, Trump claimed that he was going to cut $2 trillion from our annual budget. And by the way, our annual budget is $7 trillion. So he would have been talking obviously about a massive, massive cut. They quickly realized that was not successful. In January, they said we'll cut $1 trillion out of the budget. And by the way, the government's fiscal year is now more than half over anyway. But then on April 10th, they lowered it to $150 billion. So $2 trillion, $1 trillion, $150. But even the $150 billion, the New York Times did a very thorough investigation of this. 92 billion of it is unspecified. Nobody knows where that's coming from. Of the other 63 billion, there were all kinds of mistakes, including, for example, a contract for 1.9 billion they claim credit for actually canceled during the Biden administration. So for all the commotion, all the layoffs, all the unhappy people, there's very little to show for it. You can see that most clearly over here because this tracks federal spending month by month since the beginning of each year back from 2022. And as you would expect, it went up a little bit in 23, a little bit in 24, but it's actually gone up a good bit in 25. So there's still no impact whatsoever on government spending from all of, as I said, the commotion that Musk has created in Washington.
Well, here's the deal. Not only did they not find these cuts that they wanted to get rid of, they got rid of all the watchdogs that make sure that there isn't bad spending. I wonder why they got rid of the watchdogs. The fact that they could find nothing to really cut shows that the watchdogs were actually doing their jobs. Is there waste in government? Of course. The problem in government is one person's waste is another person's project. One person's waste, is research for hemophilia waste. To somebody that doesn't give a damn about hemophilia, it is waste. For somebody who has relatives and people, it's not. Therefore, let's be clear. Our government, in as much as we could do things more efficiently, the places that DOGE looked for were not the places where you find all the thievery from the private sector. If you want to find the thievery from the private sector, visit the Pentagon's budget, visit the military industrial complex, visit all the corporations like the oil companies that get subsidies that are undeserved, even as they take our oil out of public lands. That's where the waste is. The waste isn't in social programs. The waste isn't in USAID that's doing humane stuff. But these animals that went into our government and cut inhumanely a lot of jobs that now we are paying for. Remember how they cut Social Security? Now you can't get somebody to answer the Social Security lines. You remember how they cut the IRS? Good luck in getting help from the IRS going forward. These are irresponsible children, irresponsible boys that are messing with our government. And the worst part about it is that the Republican Congress that should be holding the president accountable is so scared of the president that they are allowing this one-person wrecking ball with all of his sycophants to effect this damage that will take us years to repair. The damage that these people are doing to our country borders on treason. And we shouldn't forget the Rachel Maddow discovery, or what appeared on her show a few days ago, with all the implications that many of DOGE's analysts may have even, I want to say this right, there's a possibility that they stole all of our data and sent it overseas and otherwise. DOGE has been a fraud. DOGE has been a failure. And it is high time that we do something about it. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.